In Mozambique, city volunteers help a cyclone-affected resident rebuild his grandmother's house. The Hualien City Medical Center helps remove the Malaysian patient's facial tumor. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Siri Su. Thank you for joining us. In Mozambique, city volunteers continue to assess the cyclone damages as well as delivering love to the affected residents. In the disaster area, they met a 20-year-old young man who was rebuilding his grandmother's house. Since he lacked building materials, volunteers immediately provided him with construction supplies. They hope to help the man fulfill his grandmother's wish of sleeping inside her own house again.
When Cyclone Idai brought heavy rain and field over here was all flooded and reached chest level, the affected residents were telling us that the land in front of us was affected by floods. All of the original houses were washed away, everything was gone.
It's already a month after the cyclone struck the country. The houses that were damaged by the disaster have been rebuilt again.
This house had collapsed, and the local villagers will look for building materials and bring them back here to help a grandmother rebuild her house. They will continue the construction work whenever they have new materials. Right now, the grandmother is accommodated by a friend and lives in another place.
This 20-year-old young man, Obed, is 90-year-old grandmother's grandson, and they live next to each other. When the cyclone came, both of them have experienced a frightening moment of their lives.
When Obed's house was about to collapse, he quickly ran outside. Then he realized his grandmother was still inside her house, so he ran over to her house and brought her out. Then the entire house had collapsed in a split second.
After the disaster, the houses in the village have turned into piles of dirt. Obed didn't want his grandmother to live in a friend's house for a long time, therefore he wanted to rebuild the house as soon as possible.
After her grandson brought her out of the house, both of them were really scared. While escaping, she fell down and got injured, so her hand is still in pain. She didn't want to live in other places. All she wanted was to come back and sleep over here.
Obed's filial piety had deeply touched the volunteers. Besides providing building materials for them, one of the volunteers also gave him tips on building a house.
When she has the money, she will buy the building materials. Sometimes she will buy 1 brick, 5 bricks, or maybe 10 bricks. She brought the materials little by little, as well as saving the money little by little. When she saved up enough money, she will buy cement. In addition, she made a vow to become a future Tzu Chi volunteer for the central region of Mozambique.
With volunteers' assistance, the construction has finally made some progress. It's one step closer to finish rebuilding their homes.
In Japan, city volunteers in Osaka started to distribute hot meals to homeless people a year ago. This time, the distribution is more special than before. Besides distributing meals, volunteers also invited the homeless to do good deeds. Although the homeless have very little, but many of them are willing to do their part to help the affected residents in Eastern Africa. Here's more.
Tzu Chi volunteers in Osaka deliver hot meals to the homeless every month. Around 30 volunteers have arrived at the local homeless center in Nishinariku district as they are preparing dinner for 300 people. Meanwhile, volunteers played a video showing cyclone damages in Eastern Africa. They want to invite more people to help the affected residents.
Let's all work together and pray for the affected residents in Africa.
As we can see, volunteers have invited the homeless to do good deeds. After receiving the hot meals, many of them have shown their compassion by dropping their love inside the donation box.
The 3 countries in Eastern Africa are facing severe disaster damages. Right now, many Tzu Chi volunteers are accumulating love to help the affected residents. Although most of us here do not have the ability to help them, but I can tell everyone still wants to deliver their love to the people in need.
When the night has come, volunteers have walked onto the street to deliver hot ginger tea, rice balls, and their best wishes.
More than half of the homeless, around 200 people, have dropped their love into the donation box. I believe we have inspired their compassionate giving to help the affected residents in Eastern Africa. In February, wildfires took place in the state of Victoria, Australia. More than 20 houses were damaged. With the government's assistance, city volunteers have assessed the damages. Recently, Melbourne city volunteers have conducted an aid distribution for the affected residents. At the event, many affected residents expressed their gratitude for the volunteers.
In Australia, the wildfires in the state of Victoria had caused more than 20 houses to be damaged. Tzu Chi volunteers in Melbourne have arrived. After assessing the damages, volunteers have conducted an aid distribution. At the venue, the affected residents enjoy watching the young volunteers' performance. The video of Tzu Chi's footprints of love reminds residents about the pain they have suffered.
It's terrific. Most grateful for everything they have done. You know, for people who've lost everything, you have started their life again.
Very blessed to have been asked to come here today. You're just all beautiful people, and we feel very blessed to have met you.
That you're helping us today, but then when we're back on our feet, that we can, help other people through. So that's really nice.
Yeah, and it's been lovely to get an insight into the culture as well, and the sense of community that your organisation brings.
We've lost our home, we've lost our possessions, and at the moment we've lost the smile in the mirror. It's hard to find, and it's through organisations like Tzu Chi. It's the organisation like that help us find the spirit of humanity.
Besides providing aid supplies and financial assistance, volunteers also deliver love and care for them. They hope the residents know that they're not alone on the journey to recovery.
As the Buddha Day ceremony approaches, Hualien city volunteers are planning to make more than 1,000 carnation flowers to celebrate this grand event. These flowers are made from plastic bags. Many community volunteers have come to make the flowers. Among them, a cancer patient was delighted to participate in the flower making activity.
Volunteers are using recyclable materials to create handmade crafts. Here we can see this little boy enjoys helping the volunteers.
结缘的，跟谁结缘？爸爸妈妈。广结善缘，然后弟弟又就是很喜欢来金石堂这边。
Taoyuan Tzu Chi volunteers are making 1,100 carnation flowers to celebrate this year's Buddha Day. All of the flowers are made with plastic bags. This 90-year-old grandma was invited by her daughter-in-law to come and help out.
My daughter-in-law invited me to come here. If there is anything that I can help, I will do it.
Volunteer Loyo was diagnosed with cancer. She has been staying at home to recuperate. After making the flowers, the worry inside her heart had faded away.
I tried to overcome depression, but I just couldn't do it. Fortunately, I know a Tzu Chi volunteer, and I asked her if there are any Tzu Chi activities that I could join. Today, she invited me to come here. While making the flowers, I began to feel happy. In addition, I never thought that plastic bags can be made into beautiful flowers.
As we can see, these plastic bags have been turned into beautiful flowers and can also bring joy to many people.
The aim for this activity is not about using plastic bags to make flowers, but it is to let everyone know that you can reuse items and they can be turned into something beautiful once again.
With everyone's efforts, these flowers have been made. Now everyone is excited about the upcoming celebration of Buddha's birthday.
A patient from Malaysia suffers from skin tumor. Her skin tumor was large and covered her left eye. As a result, she cannot see with her left eye. With the help of Malaysia Tzu Chi volunteers, she traveled to Taiwan to seek medical treatment at the Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital. The medical professionals worked with one heart to remove her 2-kilogram tumor. Here's our report.
觉得是已经没有希望了。
Back in 2018, Ling Ling came to Taiwan from Malaysia to seek medical treatment for her skin tumor.
I underwent 4 surgeries in Malaysia. 1 time required local anesthesia, and the other 3 times were general anesthesia. The results were not ideal.
Her dermatofibrosarcoma, or skin tumor, covered her left face and extended to her neck. The end of the tumor became dead tissue due to insufficient blood supply. She cannot see with her left eye. Hualien Tzu Chi Medical Center teamed up with the ENT, anesthesiology, ophthalmology, and plastic surgery departments to discuss proper treatment.
I've never even read about such a large tumor before. During the surgery, we will have to remove it completely. The main thing is that it is difficult to control bleeding when facing such a large tumor.
The first stage of surgery is to remove most of the tumor on the left face and reconstruct the facial skin with the left skin flap. The second stage is to remove the tumor on the forehead and around the left eye. The third stage is to remove the tumor in the right eye socket and conduct microsurgery. After 7 surgeries, the doctors finally removed 2 kilograms of tumor.
Once we conducted the incision, she lost more than 100 cc of blood. We had to tie the external carotid artery and reduce bleeding before we could continue the surgery.
Since her giant tumor has covered her mouth, applying anesthesia is also a big challenge for the doctors. The anesthesiologists use fibroscope and place an endotracheal tube into the air passage to apply anesthesia.
The problem is with her respiratory tract. We're worried that once we apply anesthesia, she would not be able to breathe. In such case, her life would be in danger.
The plastic surgeons also work diligently during the 7 surgeries.
The skin flap graft microsurgeries were very successful. The later surgeries worked to achieve better appearance and better function of the eyelid.
The TCM doctors also treated Ling Ling's swollen legs and cold symptoms. Her parents are comforted to see how she's recovering.
Now she smiles. Before the surgery, she did not want to talk. I'm really happy now.
After more than 3 months of treatment, Ling Ling can finally be discharged from the hospital. Everyone admires her courage and strength.
I've been reborn. Without the medical team and volunteers, I will not be in this world. Now I've recovered. I'm really happy. It's been a long time since I feel so excited.
The medical professionals at Hualien Tzu Chi Medical Center did not give up on Ling Ling, and their hard work has given her a chance to start a new chapter of her life. Juana Garcia is the first certified city volunteer in La Romana. Since last year, she has been promoting hot meals in the community, allowing elderly people or poor individuals the chance to get a hot meal. She's also implementing a community care program. Although she's poor, she feels blessed to be able to help others. Let's meet this amazing Tzu Chi volunteer.
This lady is looking forward to seeing us. When we enter the door, we will call her Rosa. She knows it is us because she can already smell the rice. She asks us to put it there and enjoy the meal.
Se la ponemos a ella, vengan, pónganmelo aquí, y se empieza a comer su comida con mucho amor.
The amount you put in has to be just right. Don't put in too much and don't put in too little. What might be good for a healthy person and might not harm a person who's ill.
This is a meal cooked with love, as all of the ingredients should be fresh and nutritious. The white rice should be cooked thoroughly until it is tender.
There's no electric rice cooker here, as cooking rice for 20 people can be laborious. You have to cook it thoroughly. To cook it soft, you have to rely on experience. One volunteer says that if you can put the spatula in the middle of the rice and it does not fall over, then it's the perfect amount of water.
This group of community mothers in Dominican Republic, with more than half under the poverty line, carefully prepared the meal. Here in La Romana, 90% are poor, and they only eat 1 meal a day.
Several of our volunteers visited each person on home visits, one case after another, to assess what they need. Then we will deliver the meal to them by the list.
poder seleccionar las personas más necesitadas.
Juana Gracia is the first local volunteer to become a Tzu Chi commissioner, and she followed the example of Tzu Chi. Before any aid was issued, it was important to conduct a home visit to tailor the assistance to the individual.
We had to specially make a meal for a woman who has trouble with her health. We help her prepare bananas to prevent her from eating rice.
Serving hot meals began 2 years ago. Juana Gracia set up a kitchen in her own home. She invited members of the community to come and produce dishes. Narcissa is the main chef, and her food impresses people much like her singing.
Doing something for someone in need is like a feeling from the heart. When helping your family, you see that we're doing it because of love, like one family.
Porque como puedes ver, lo que hacemos lo hacemos por amor.
Providing 3 side dishes and 1 main item all get prepared in these reusable containers provided by each family. This door-to-door delivery and feeding is also the start of a community care program. This special meal is prepared for an elderly woman who has diabetes and suffers vision impairment.
Because I have diabetes, there's rice I would like to eat but can't eat.
This elderly lady sitting on the ground is looking forward to a visit from volunteers.
Her right leg and hand have little mobility. Her children put her bed on the floor so that it is easier for her to move around.
College student speaks French and helps deliver food to Haitian families. This family of 8 shares 2 meals.
At first, we gave her 1 serving, but that was not enough, so we gave her 2, and this is still not enough.
Visiting the elderly living alone and families with disabilities shows the importance of continuing this work.
They don't necessarily need it every day, but once in a while they'll be happy to receive it. I hope they can have at least 1 hot meal every day. We're so happy to see them. I also feel very satisfied.
Es bueno que la satisfacción que tomamos nosotros como la alegría que tienen ellos.
Before, I would see my own needs and would not see the needs of others. After doing Tzu Chi, I walked into the community to see people who have more needs. I used to complain that nothing was delicious and was angry with only rice and eggs. But this changes when you see someone else who cherishes a little rice.
In helping the poor, we too learn about how to become content and truly cherish what we have.
The Indonesia government has said that Indonesia will become a paradise for vegetarians. In 2017, Tzu Chi volunteers established Indonesia DaAi Food Company, which produces DaAi noodle. The company hosts different events to promote DaAi noodle and vegetarianism. Let's take a look.
In the cafeteria, everyone listens to the volunteers' explanation. Indonesia DaAi Food Company regularly holds events to promote vegetarianism. At lunchtime, they're teaching everyone ways to cook DaAi noodle. The noodle can be cooked in different ways without losing its nutritional value.
We explain to the public that DaAi noodle is made with wheat. It is very easily cooked and can be cooked in different ways. Its main ingredients are carbohydrates. Once we add vegetable and other food, it will have enough nutrients.
Members of the public share their experience adopting a vegetarian diet. Many people share ways of cooking DaAi noodle. After adding other vegetables, this vegetarian dish is both tasty and attractive. Recently, Indonesian DaAi Food Company has joined hands with Summarakam Foundation to provide 450 DaAi noodle promotion vehicles to retailers. Then DaAi noodle sales vehicles will go to different markets to promote healthy and tasty DaAi noodle.
This is a very meaningful event, and we need to support it, especially in some developing sites. We help them do business by providing vehicles. Of course, this will improve their sales.
In Indonesia, for people living in small cities, adopting a vegetarian diet can be inconvenient. It is because it is difficult to find vegetarian restaurants. A couple in Central Java decided to run a vegetarian restaurant to promote vegetarianism. Their most popular item is their dumplings, as they're made with sweet potatoes. The couple believes that more people will find vegetarian food tasty and healthy.
Being a Buddhist, Suna has been living with healthy vegetarian principles. Promoting healthy principles can be easy, but it is very difficult to adopt a vegetarian diet. It's because there are few vegetarian restaurants in Central Java. Therefore, Suna and his wife run a vegetarian restaurant, providing healthy vegetarian food to the neighbors.
Tetapi inti dari vegetarian sendiri sebetulnya.
Basically, being vegetarian is not totally because of religious reasons. I adopt a vegetarian diet because I am Buddhist, and vegetarianism is a widespread practice. Many religions advocate vegetarianism so that people can express their love for living beings.
The most popular item here is the sweet potato dumplings. The local residents like Chinese food.
Most dumpling skins are made with flour, but our dumplings are made with sweet potatoes. We can choose red or purple sweet potato. It is a healthy snack as it contains a lot of fiber.
By running a vegetarian restaurant, the couple hopes to inspire more people to adopt a vegetarian diet.
In Indonesia, tempeh is a popular vegetarian food. It is a kind of fermented soybean cake and can be cooked in a variety of ways. While some people eat tempeh as snacks, other people also eat it as a main dish. Let's learn more about this magical vegetarian food.
Tempeh is a kind of soy cake. Some people call it the Indonesia soybean cake. It has a history of hundreds of years. There's a tempeh store in Bogor that allows the public to experience making tempeh. Here, members of the public can experience soaking soybeans, fermentation, and the packaging process.
People consider tempeh a cheap food because it is everywhere. There is not a standard tempeh production process. Therefore, there is still not an ideal production environment.
After experiencing making it, customers can bring their tempeh home. Tempeh can be fried with vegetables, made into crunchy chips, and cooked as a vegetarian hamburger.
At the seminars, we keep telling the customers we have trained many tempeh producers. They do not need to worry as these producers can make high-quality tempeh.
Indonesians love tempeh as it can be a main course as well as a snack. One can create different tasty cuisines with tempeh. It's an all-purpose food and a good substitute for meat.
In Indonesia, students from City's Great Love School recently visited an orphanage in Tangerang. They brought joy to the orphans and learned a lesson outside the classrooms. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.